Guys, here we are. This is Rifkin. I'm casting with Zeph. We're in the semifinals of the ZOTAC North American Cup. $100 on the line. This is a best of three, and spotting here in the top left corner of the map, he's playing for Binary Evasion. He's also playing from Switzerland. It is Zervas.
And his opponent spawning this green zag in the bottom right hand corner. It is none other than mouz.hOpe.
Now, Mouse Esports, man, they have got some goddamn good players on their roster. Pardon me for phrasing it like that, but more recently, as of late, I have fallen head over heels in love with Hero Marine. Not to take away from Hope here, and I don't want to discuss him too much, but the team in general, they've got a lot of good people and a lot of good practice partners, so I imagine Hope is going to be very well set to deal with Zervas. Zervas did say before this game, little worried, a little unsure of how this will go. He's going to try his best nonetheless and wants to kick some ass. So I do wish him, Fabio, Zervas, fingers are crossed for you. You've got the casters rooting for you, man. Or at least this caster.
Yeah, I'm not sure who to root for. Both players seem pretty cool. I mean, Zervas showed that he doesn't fall to all-ins very easily. At least not Roach Bane, so we'll see if that's a factor in this matchup. It'd be cool to see if these guys go for a more aggressive style or fall back on a more macro style, whether that be mutas or an attempt at the Roach style that's been becoming a little bit more popular.
Yeah, Roaches have been making a resurgence, I feel. It's weird to say that because they were so popular for so long, where there was no games where you wouldn't see Roaches encouraged. And then Heart of the Swarm came out and it changed everything. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty disappointing because I saw a TL poll recently on like who is which matchup is the most boring to watch, and ZOTAC won by like a mile. It was like no one enjoys watching it anymore because it's so boring and one-dimensional. But thankfully that looks like it's starting to change with the Spore Crawler buff.
Well, this
meters now.
Well, the Spore Crawler buff didn't exactly eradicate Mutalisks. It helped deter them. Because even if a Spore Crawler does 100 damage per shot... Oh, we got a bit of lag going on. Even if a Spore Crawler did 100 damage a shot, if you've got more than enough Mutalisks to one-shot that Spore Crawler, it's not that scary and it's not that big of a threat. And that tended to be where a lot of those games were going.
Yeah, exactly. But with the Spore buff, I mean, people have been a little bit more confident in trying other things. There's a fair few Roach styles coming out. Where they try and kind of just defend on that against the Lings and use the spores to the best of their ability to zone the mutas out. On a map like this, I'm not sure how a style like that would go because the third base is kind of isolated.
Yeah, regardless of which one you take, it's very difficult.
Yeah. So perhaps we'll just see a bit more of a standard style if we don't see some sort of massling all-in or something like that come down.
That was really cool to Zervas. I don't know if you got that. It was kind of cute.
Yeah.
One of his Zerglings should have died there. But yeah, Zerg versus Zerg, we can talk about it being boring, and I think the big aspect of it being boring was, you know, the Mutalisks that we were just talking about. But the fact that players have started introducing new aspects to it, like, even at Wings of Liberty when Roaches were still the go-to thing, you never saw Roach pushes, at least not often. Now that actually tends to be a Roach Nidus, it tends to be a pretty common, as weird as that is to say. Ragnarok was it almost a month ago actually, showing us some dominating Zerg tactics. I won't spoil what he did, but I'll tell you guys, it involved a lot of queens in a ZVZ. Those
I actually love seeing mass queens.
Yeah, and those VODs, of course, on our YouTube channel. Just that little shout out, the shameless plugging.
Yeah, you can find pretty much everything that is done on this channel on the YouTube, by the way, guys. So if there's games you missed or you're looking for some recent pro games, there's always new stuff being uploaded there.
Well, Hope is positioning and building his buildings in such a way that I think he's really expecting some banelings to come from Zervas. Zervas, he's had some pretty decent scouting this game, but right now, the way the Zerglings are being sort of rallied across the field in low numbers, Zervas is going to be stuck at home. It sounds weird to say that because it's like, oh, 4 Zerglings, what a threat, will keep Zervas at home. But it really will, because he can't afford to dance out of his base. He can't go back for that second round of scouting. And it's going to rely so heavily on these overlords to tell him what's going on with this game.
Yeah, that's very true. Does manage to pick up the drone. Very nice there by Hope. And it looks like he may get into the main.
Oh,
yes,
and
he
seeing
does.
the double Evo chambers. Such a big tell. And, oh, Zervas is going to finish that Zergling off. Okay, there we go.
Alright, so there we go. He has really good information right now about what's going on. And so Hope will be able to prepare himself for mass upgraded Ling, but he is going straight for that Spire. Perhaps he wants to do SimCity off the front of his natural a little bit, because if he suddenly floods with a bunch of 1/1 Lings, he's not going to have all that much to block it. He's going to be depending on slow Banelings to try and connect.
Well, the really nice edge for Zervas right now is not only is he going to have those upgrades here in just a moment, his opponent's going to dedicate a lot of gas to Banelings to hold this, which means it will severely delay and, quite frankly, hamper the amount of Mutalisks that will eventually be on the field. So Zervas has got to cause more than enough pressure. He's got to cause actual damage if he wants to win this game, because that Spire completing suddenly creates a clock. Even 3 Mutalisks on the field to pick off Zervas' Banelings will be more than enough to shut down whatever Zervas goes for. And if he doesn't have an Infestation Pit to follow it, he's going to be just absolutely out of this.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But there is actually a hell of a lot of stuff out for Hope right now. He could potentially try and counterattack and deny the third of Zervas, which is significantly earlier than that of Hope. And in fact, his hatch did just get denied a little bit by a single Ling.
I feel that the early third, though, doesn't necessarily give Zervas an advantage in this situation. In fact, I feel it's a bit of a disadvantage. It's a strategic weak point. He's not trying to outrace his opponent to Mutalisk. The extra gas won't provide any benefit to him. And with 5 Mutalisks started in weapon upgrades, Zervas still without his lair. No Infestors will be here in time. He's going to have to rely so severely on Spore Crawlers to deal with these Mutalisks.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting. +1 attack coming down there, seeing as he knows there's no Muta threat. He doesn't have to go for the Carapace right away. Wow, it looks like we might actually get to see some Ling Bane Wars. Possibly, I mean, he should actually cancel a lot of these as the Mutas.
They will just pick them off. Yeah, flocking right on top of them. But the Banelings, ooh, almost gets connect to Hope. But there's that focus fire, and Zervas can no longer do anything with what he has. And it's so frustrating.
And the Infestation Pit finishing up right now.
Double.
In fact, he's getting 2.
That's a mistake. I'm calling it. There's no way that was intentional.
But it's right next to it.
Yeah, but what advantage do you get from 2 Infestation Pits? You're gonna research Pathogen and Neural to deal with Mutalisks? I mean...
Pathogen and Swarm Host, maybe? I don't know. I just find it kind of weird that he puts it exactly next to it, and... then again, he's not getting the upgrade for anything from the Infestation Pit right now, so it may very well be a mistake.
I think honestly Zervas is probably panicking a little bit right now. He's got these Mutalisks to deal with. He's losing Overlords. He's going to lose the Spine Crawler. He's trying to cause some damage in the main. Does a little bit of harass. Almost gets to the Queen, but... Ooh, if these Banelings...
Well,
does Hope not see them? If Hope doesn't see these Banelings, that's the kind of damage Zervas needs to get back into this.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Hope does see it.
Killed 1 worker so far. Okay, that's a shame. We'll lose the links for... Oh, he could still get in.
Oh no, actually being blocked out. Just manually detonate, man. Second Baneling not going to be effective. Of course, you can't one-shot drones regardless.
Well, a lot of them are very weak now, so perhaps he can try and sneak in there at a later point and finish some of those drones off. But in the meantime, third is now under threat.
This is what I was talking about earlier. It's a strategical weak point. These Spore Crawlers were nicely positioned for the Mutalisks, but he's not prepared for the Zerglings. And now here come the Banes.
Banes coming in as well, and all the links go down.
All the larvae being taken out as well. Zervas with really no way to come back from this. He's trying to get these Infestors out. It's a great way to try, because they're, of course, Fungal is good versus not only Mutalisks, but also Zerglings. But this third base, everything here is just wasted at this point. Drones, countless drones have died. Resources lost so heavily in the favor of Hope.
Yeah, he's really stuck at the moment. I mean, what options do you have? He's defending on Spore Crawlers and Infestors, and even once those are out, Fungals are quite hard to hit on those Mutas. They're very slippery creatures right now.
Oh my god, that's a lot of Banelings coming in. So boldly too, right on top of Zervas.
Yeah, he doesn't even care at this point. Looks like he's just gonna roll on in there and see what he can do.
Well, he will hold up the natural for the time being. Zerglings slipping into the main. Huge amount of Banelings crashing into the spines of the Spores. Infestors might actually die to these Banelings, F.
Oh no, that's gonna be really bad.
He actually blocks himself. I don't know if that was intentional or not, because he did block himself out with those Infestors, but it did work to stop the aggression for the time being.
Yeah, at least he didn't lose any more from that. And now the Mutas are gonna take out the third base. It is all theirs. In the meantime, Hope's bases have been untouched. He's got a great economy. He's following up with 18 roaches.
Yeah, I feel like this game might be over. It's hard to count this out because it is ZVZ, one fungal, one bailing head. You know, small things like that can turn this game around in an instant, but the supply count is just not looking good for Zervas. He's going to see these roaches. These Zerglies will not be able to do much of anything, sadly.
Yeah, tough time. I mean, Zervas is going to feel some serious pain at looking at all those roaches popping out. This is really common follow-up from the mutas. In fact, it actually happened a lot during the beta, following up your mutas with a bunch of speed roaches. A sudden punch that your opponent doesn't expect.
Hope's so cool with the whole position on those drones, actually keeping that queen alive here at the third. So well done. Hope's control of this game has been immaculate. We have Burrow coming out to try and keep these infestors alive a little bit longer, but the roaches and the mutalisks, he can deal with one, but not both.
Yeah, we do have some wings looking for a counterattack option for Zervas, but at home there's just nothing to defend this except for fungals. He's gonna need like the most perfect fungals and then some.
Ooh. Misses the first one, lands the second one on some roaches, not too shabby. No transfuse on that spine crawler, so desperate needed to keep that alive. And the mutalisks aren't even engaging, it's just the roaches pushing in here. Zervas with some infested Terrans.
And it's just not enough. The fungals can't do the job, but too many of them will miss, and GG, well played, comes down from Zervas.
That's okay, guys. That was only one game. Potentially two more on the way. If I could check out the other